The Dragon Age franchise is dead, and the writing team is coping after Electronic Arts gutted the studio, BioWare, and axed the entire writing team. Roll this up over at fandompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. So one of the writers for Dragon Age, the Veilguard, Cheryl Chi, she claims the Dragon Age franchise is not dead, despite EA gutting developer BioWare and axing much of the writing team. Her explanation makes it very clear that she is coping and that Dragon Age is indeed dead, and she has no one to blame but herself and her fellow former employees. But this is what she wrote. But Dragon Age isn't dead. There's fic, there's art, there's the connections we made through the games and because of the games. Technically, EA BioWare owns the IP, but you can't own an idea no matter how much they want to. Dragon Age isn't dead because it's yours now. Dragon Age is dead. It's probably deader than Star Wars, let's be honest. As much as Star Wars has been turned into a political vehicle, it didn't fully descend to the extent of Dragon Age, where it was just full-on transgender propaganda. Now, obviously, we've seen that in the Star Wars comics, etc., but we haven't seen it in a mainstream movie or television show. At least none of the ones that I've seen. But so this is dead. Dragon Age is deader than Star Wars. So her comments came after she announced she had been relocated within EA to Motive. She says, I'm now with Motive. It's been a hard 2 years seeing my team get chipped away and having to still keep going, but I'm still employed, so there's that. Her comments also came in the wake of EA admitting that the entire Dragon Age franchise missed expectations by 50% in a press release about a week ago. Dragon Age engaged approximately 1.5 million players during the quarter, down nearly 50% from the company's expectations. Now, obviously, I think they're being weasel-wordy here because they don't say Veilguard, they're just saying Dragon Age, and I think this 1.5 million number being just down nearly 50%, I think that's a lot lower, given the fact that Assassin's Creed executive producer Mark Alexis Cote said just 3-4 months ago that AAA games like Dragon Age, the Veilguard, would have to bring in between 8 to 12 million units sold in order to be considered break even or success. So 1.5, nowhere near that 8 million number. And again, that isn't even Veilguard, because they're saying Dragon Age, not Dragon Age the Veilguard. So I think they're being a little weaselly there, because I think that includes obviously Origins, it includes Dragon Age 2, it includes Inquisition, it includes sales of their back catalog, which they likely probably did see a tick up with the release of Veilguard, because that's usually what happens. You see people will buy into the back catalog. So a week after that announcement, that press release announcement, BioWare General Manager Gary McKay announced that BioWare was making cuts and that a number of staff had been moved to other studios within EA. If you thought this was weasel-wordy, this is what McKay said. We have incredible talent here at BioWare, and so we have worked diligently over the past few months to match many of our colleagues with other teams at EA that had open roles that were a strong fit. Of note, he said many instead of all, with the implication that a number of employees were let go. I mean, they don't say layoffs. They don't say they're making cuts. It's so weaselly what he said here, when they clearly made cuts. They clearly were axing people, and they axed the entire writing team, as we will find out here right now. Following this announcement, Dragon Age: The Veilguard writers and editors announced they were no longer with BioWare. We had a former BioWare writer, Anne LeMay, claiming that none of the writers or editors she worked with between 2011 and 2016 were left at the company. She wrote this: I was a writer at BioWare for 5 years. I learned a lot during that time from exceptional folks in many disciplines. Oh my gosh, dude. So ridiculous with the stupid gender ideology. So sick. So evil. But also specifically for my fellow writers and our amazing editors on both the Mass Effect and Dragon Age brands. Today, not a single one of those writers and editors remains employed there. January 29, so that's what? 3 days ago, because we're on the 1st now. 3 days ago, LeMay posted that. We also know, I've covered this in a previous video in another article over on Fan and Pulse, that we did get confirmation from a number of other people that are no longer at BioWare. They include writing lead Patrick Weeks, editing lead Karen Westweeks, editor Ryan Cormier, writer Brianne Batier, Ben Gelinas, the aforementioned Chi writer Sylvia Fekete. We also know that writer John Dombrow left for Sucker Punch in 2023. He's now a senior writer working on Ghost of Yote. Courtney Woods joined Sucker Punch back in September 2022 as well. Mary Kirby's LinkedIn profile claims she left BioWare in September 2023. Lucas Christiansen also left the company in 2023. I think Kirby and Christiansen were laid off in 2023. Cameron Harris announced she was not only leaving BioWare, but the video game industry at large back in 2016. And then Joe Barry left BioWare in 2017 and has been at Motive since then. And you can see here, this is from the credits of the game. That is the entire writing and editing team, right? We went over Patrick Weeks, Brian Battier, Courtney Woods, Joe Barry, John Dombrow, Lucas Christiansen, Mary Kirby, Cheryl Chi, Sylvia Fekete. And then the editing team, Karen Weeks-West, Ben Gelinas, Cameron Harris, and Ryan Cormier. They are all gone. None of them work at BioWare anymore. We also know that the game director, Andrew Bush, he left, and so did creative director John Epler. So they all left. They're all gone. Dragon Age is dead. These are the people that killed it. Not only did they kill it, but the BioWare executives like Gary McKay also contributed to the killing of this game because he approved of turning the game, the franchise, into a piece of transgender propaganda. So this is all cope, claiming that Dragon Age isn't dead because it's yours now. It's dead. It's dead, and you killed it, and you have no one to blame but yourself. Massive, massive amounts of cope here. And it's not surprising because these people will never admit that what they are doing is wrong, that what they're doing is evil, and people don't want to be associated or even a part of it at all. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. People should not want to be associated with evil, with the promotion of evil. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth. And never forget that everything woke turns to crap. Dragon Age is the most recent example.